Leaving your corporate job can be intimidating at best and paralyzing at worst. In my own career journey, leaving corporate to start my own business was the very last career option I explored. I wasn't one of these people that dreamt of starting a business one day, but I knew the life I wanted to create for myself, and it became increasingly clear that the corporate path was not it. Now that I've done it, it is hands down the best move in my career that I've ever made, but it had its ups and downs. And so today I want to share with you the 4 things you should consider before quitting your corporate job. Hey, it's Caroline from Caroline Adams Coaching. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here. If you're new here, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you're not new here, you know that I love your questions and comments, so please leave them below. All right, so my first rule is you get to set your own rules. Keep what serves you and discard the rest. In my corporate career, I became increasingly frustrated that there was this whole set of arbitrary rules and all this bureaucracy that we were expected to follow even if it didn't make sense. And so I found myself increasingly torn between having to toe this imaginary line of what we were supposed to do versus being the leader that I wanted to be and making the impact I knew I could make. And so I was unpleasantly surprised when I left corporate, started my business, and all of these people and experts swooped in to tell me that I had to do things a certain way if I wanted to be successful. I wasn't exactly sure what my business was going to look like, but I knew I wanted to create a career that supported my life. And I knew I wanted my values and my interests and my strengths to be at the forefront. And so over time, I learned that when people gave me advice that aligned with all of those things, I would take it. And whenever they gave me advice or told me I needed to do something that pulled against my authenticity, pulled against who I wanted to be and the impact I wanted to make, I left it. You get to make your own rules. There are so many ways to create the career and life you want for yourself, and do not let anyone tell you that there is only one way to do it. The clearer you can get on not only what you want to do, but how you can do it in a way that only you can, the more fulfilled and successful you will be. Number 2, mind the gap. Know that there is going to be a gap between your corporate life and the new career path you are embarking on. But it's probably not the gap you think it is. Everyone focuses on the external steps. Those are actually the easy part. The hard part and the real gap is the limitations and the barriers that you will put up for yourself. And so seek out people that are a support system and role models to help you stay the course when your own limiting beliefs threaten to take you off that path. When I left, I changed everything about my life. I would not recommend this as a transition plan, but I found it really hard because I had either people that were so far ahead of me on the path I couldn't relate, or they were still down in the muck with me. And so if I were doing it all over again, I would pick people who were on the same path and maybe just slightly ahead of me. You really want people who are helping you stretch and move forward, but in a way that still feels attainable. Number 3, look before you leap, but you gotta leap. There is no right time to leave, and I am the biggest planner in the world, but there is no plan that can accommodate every single scenario. At some point, you actually just gotta move. That is the best way to get feedback and discover if you're actually on the right path or not. And I am a big fan of using our corporate gigs to help us transition to where we wanna go, and it can also be a trap. So I would invite you to get super clear on how your corporate gig actually helps advance your longer term career goals, and if it's no longer serving them, it's time to move on. So get crystal clear about what your objective is for staying, set a date, and then honor that date. There will be so many reasons not to leave. I know because I dealt with every single one of them. So get clear on your objectives, set your calendar, and then get the heck out of Dodge when it's time. Number 4, baby steps to happiness. Patience is not my strong suit, and in a genius stroke of karma, I've never had to practice more patience than as a business owner. I remember when I was in corporate, people always used to say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I honestly never understood that, and that might be why I burned out twice. It can be really, really tempting to try to do everything at once, especially when you're embarking on something brand new. That can either lead you to take on way too much and get overwhelmed, or paralyze you and not take any steps. It is far more important to take small, consistent action than take a huge leap that is so jarring that you never take any action again. So be gentle with yourself. Know that these baby steps lead up to huge cumulative action and real change. This is also a great reminder that we cannot outrun ourselves, and just as important as all of those external steps that we are trying to make, it is important to also look inward and look at where you need to develop your own self. I get it. There is so much fear around leaving corporate and everything that you associate with that life, and yet I don't know anyone that has left corporate that wants to go back, ever. And this should tell you something about what awaits you on the other side of that fear, especially if deep down you know this is not the right path for you. And so whether you are fully committed or whether you're simply just considering making the transition, I commend you. It takes courage and conviction and grit to even consider something like this. And I also invite you to think about not just where it's going to lead you, but the feeling that you are going to associate with even having tried. Of course, I'm here if you need help. Thank you for watching. Leave whatever questions and comments you have below. Throw me a like if you enjoyed this.